Happy Wednesday, YouTube. Happy Wednesday, everyone. And once again, this is your host, Alex, introducing Koki Pirate.
Howdy, howdy.
And Fratis.
Hello, world.
And Midnight Goddess.
It's Wednesday, get your hump on.
Exactly. And today's story is from last Friday, and it's about that European hotbed of sodomy that is the Eurovision Song Contest, and in particular, the news that the transgender contestant, Conchita Wurst, has won, following, of course, some controversy. Controversy of this kind, of an LGBTQ kind, not being anything new for Eurovision, of course. But we've actually all just watched the video, watched the winning video, heard the winning song and the winning voice, and I suppose I'll hand it over to you, Koki.
I don't have much to say. I mean, I've always understood Eurovision to be a very politicized event, but the fact that, a lot of people are willing to, vote for Austria, was it?
Oh, yes, Austria.
Despite I don't know if it's because of or, whatever. The point is that I think it says something when people are willing to vote for, a member of the trans community, that they're entering a bit more into the sphere of acceptance, so they still have a long way to go. There's still a lot of discrimination against them, but it certainly helps their visibility.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's two positive Eurovision things in a row. Because I don't know if they won last year, but last year there was a thing, I didn't see it, but there was an act including a same-sex kiss. And there were nations that were outraged and yada, yada, yada. This year you kind of think, Russia, are you going to keep entering? Because we know you don't want to. But anyway, Fratis, your thoughts?
I think it's I mean, we can say it's because she's transgendered and stuff like that, but she was a brilliant singer. Let's be quite honest. I mean, if you go and sit down and watch the video, or even and go sit down and watch the live video, it's just as good. She's a brilliant singer. She had a very no-frills video and still managed to bring over a lot of feeling. I think it's interesting that she sings about transformation in a song.
Yeah.
Which is probably very important to herself. And I think it's a great political statement, and I think she made a great political statement with a quote where she says that that the night is for the people who vote for peace and prosperity, and that together we can do more stuff.
Yeah.
I'm paraphrasing that quote. I can't remember it exactly. And I'm very happy for her. And I hope at least that this can continue, that we can make progress. And you already mentioned that Russia might stop entering, and I'd like to explain maybe why. Because if you enter the Eurovision Song Contest, you are required to do three things actually. One, enter a contestant every year. How you pick them is up to yourself. Two, you have to broadcast the entire show, cover to cover, in other words, on some kind of television. And three, you can cut nothing out of any performance. And that's the really important one, So if you have someone like transsexual going on, and your country is very against transsexuals, or even has laws against transsexuals, or laws against homosexuality, you cannot cut it out. You start a petition before the competition and discuss it with the people looking at this or in control of this, but you cannot cut it out once it's decided. So, I think it's, in a way, it sticks it to Putin, and I kind of like that. And a great musician won, and I'm very happy for her, and I hope she continues to have a very great time.
And Midnight Goddess, your thoughts?
I think she's fabulous. First of all, her voice is absolutely impeccable. As most people know, I am hearing impaired, so I wear hearing aids. And when somebody sings, it hurts me if they're off key, because everything's magnified, right? So her voice was flawless. Like, it was just absolutely stunning, to the point where I actually thought she was miming, because it was just that flawless. And then the gown. We have to talk the gown. Girl has taste, you know? And then the political statement that she made by having a beard, dressed to the nines, was not only about, you know, transformation and transition, but it's turning over old stereotypes and old images of what we once believed were gender identity, because gender identity, as we now know, is not the same as sexuality. So I think she's not only going to be a wonderful role model for a lot of the LGBT community. She has opened doors for a lot of the LGBT community, just in doing this, being brave enough to do it. Because in some places you can be killed for this, you know? You know, so it takes somebody who has, you know, that brave foot to step forward and put themselves out there like that. Because she could have just gone in and entered as female, and you wouldn't have been able to tell. You know, she phenomenal dresser, phenomenal singer, you know, absolutely stunningly gorgeous. She could have, she didn't need to wear the beard, she didn't need to make the statement, and yet she put herself out there. And, you know, it's small acts like that that are what is going to start changing people's minds. And I just, like, I just can't say enough. I think she's absolutely fabulous, and you guys, you need to check this woman out. Alex, if would you be able to post the link?
Of course, the link will be in the description.
Okay.
For anyone who hasn't seen it, its views are climbing massively. Anyway, it's like you look at it, it's like, oh my god. So it'll be. I don't know who in the world won't have seen this by the time of broadcast, but if you haven't, check it out. It's in the description.
Well, there are 8 billion people in this world. I'm sure there'll be a couple who haven't seen it. But she's just fabulous, and I think it's a wonderful time for her to be a role model for a lot of people, because we're in a lot of not weird times right now, but we're in a time of social hate and social bigotry and all of this stuff that's been going on in the news and everything. And then to have a transgendered woman come out in this type of venue, she is just going to be a wonderful role model for people, transgendered or not, you know, but LGBT or not, you know, just to be true to yourself and to be unique and to be who you are. That's just such a bold statement. And, you know, it's about time we had somebody as fierce, you know, out there representing the community, you know, like RuPaul used to, you know. RuPaul was fierce back in her day, and now we've got this beautiful woman who's come in to be that role model that we lost when RuPaul stopped performing. So I think this on a lot of fronts is going to be an awesome thing for not only the LGBT community, but for the world in general.
Yeah, and I do think, although I will admit I've only actually watched Eurovision properly 1 year, it is great that Europe has this, that it is that kind of platform. Some people sneer at it, but there are definitely some hits that deserve to be there. Does anybody have anything else to add?
I'm just click back on the video. It currently has 5 million views. I mean, looking at the comment section is full of horrible people. So you might just want to skip that.
Yeah.
Right.
But the video itself has had about 5 million views. I'm a little sad that the thumbs up and thumbs down don't really represent the video.
Yeah, there are more thumbs up than there are thumbs
only
down.
About a couple of thousand, which is...
Yeah, and well, let's all make sure that we give it a like. But as for the comment section, haters gonna hate.
Yeah.
Just give a hater a hug.
But yeah, I still think that the Eurovision Song Contest usually has, from the 20 or so countries that jump in, at least usually you have one or two decent artists in between there. It's just never Britain.
You would think that a country with Britain's history of contribution to the music of the world would do better in an international singing contest.
But they don't.
But we don't, no. But
yeah.
There you are. I'm still going to blame all the countries in Europe that hate us too much to vote for us. It's just like, the French aren't going to vote for us, are they? Come on.
I'd vote for you, and I'm French.
You're French Canadian. You don't live next door to us. Imagine being the next door neighbours of the British. Come on now.
True.
Yeah, we're loud, we're drunk, we're just... actually, we're worse when we go to other countries, but still. So, yes, I've just characterised my own nation as a bunch of, like, nightmare neighbours.
So, what's it like for you to have British neighbours?
That's a very, very good point, actually. Well, London's its own thing. As much as I act like I'm proud of being a Londoner, an awful lot of Londoners are cunts. It has to be said. But there you go. It's weird, because you go to, like, Liverpool, and you go on their underground train system, and people just chat with each other. You go on the London Underground, people don't even make eye contact. Yeah, everybody's a robot. But, I don't know, I'm on a show which I put London in the title of my show, and I'm slagging off my city of birth. But anyway, well, there's a lot to do here. Anyway, any more closing thoughts that are on topic?
No, I think I said everything I needed to say.
I know how much Fartis hates London, so I was expecting him to leap in there.
I resisted.
Okay, well, it's good night from Koki.
May the hamster prosperity rest upon your head.
And it's good night from Fartis.
Good night. May London burn in hell.
And good night, midnight.
Good night. The chickens will be watching.
This chicken talk is starting. Between the hamsters and the chickens, I don't know. Anyway, Koki's hamster shits on your chicken. Ha! And on that bombshell, it's good night from me.